Yeah, it is. Welcome along,
That is
weekend
unbelievable.
roundup. Oh my days. We're in for a great show today, guys. Well, what about the North London derby?
I'm not getting rattled.
And we're 3 points off top 4, so it's not looking too bad.
Yeah. Foden 88, Saka 87. I think that's wrong.
Nice that you put your top on. You want to take it off and get the branding out? Happy birthday!
Make a wish to win the league.
I did.
How much chance do Arsenal have of winning the Champions League?
0, mate.
If we got through
Can't do it.
PSV, do you think there's any chance?
No,
that we
no,
know?
no.
Hang on, let me finish.
Predictions:
2-1 Tottenham.
3-1 Liverpool.
2-0 Wolves.
Chelsea to beat Man United at Old Trafford.
Still there.
You're in trouble if we win this game.
You better not lose on Saturday.
We beat the world champions this weekend. That makes you world champion.
We're the world champions, but you're not in a title.
This is why you'll never win the league.
6 million down the drain.
Robbie celebrating a 1-0 win. Abby, Pilates instead of trophies. You never walk alone.
Catch us every Monday for the weekend roundup.
Remember, please, if you support the show, if you love the show, if you respect us, please vote for FC
Vote!
for
Please.
show of
Vote.
the year. All you need to do is scan the barcode. It's a very quick process. We would really appreciate your support. We do this, we entertain for you guys, and all we ask for is to support our efforts. We've been putting this on for you for years now. We enjoy it, and we've been recognized for our efforts, for our services to you. So it'd be great if you could recognize that recognition and vote for us.
Vote.
Tell your friends to vote as well. Share it to a group chat. Let's see if the man them can bring it home.
Don't treat us like Jeremy Corbyn, bruh. You know what I mean? You always gas
Support
him up.
us
You
all the
always
whole
gas
way.
him up and say you're gonna vote for
Till
him.
it's time to vote.
Then it's time to vote. You look at the paper, you got a poll. You're like, yo, you got no
Man, I
votes.
voted Green Party
You know what I'm
and
trying to say? No one's voted.
Reform and
Do us the service. Vote.
Yeah.
That's what we need. It's so quick. It's just a tap of a button.
Hello and welcome to Live at 5. I'm actually your host today. I'm Abby, if you're only just finding that out. Joining me is Laurie, and Dylan has arrived.
I made it. I had a
Sweating.
bit of a malfunction on the TFL, so I got here about 30 seconds ago.
If you are travelling in the Finsbury Park area today, there is
Honestly,
hella
anywhere in London. Anywhere in London.
That was
at the
like
minute.
yesterday as well.
Why is it that bad? Because I had a lot of trouble getting here as
Rain.
well.
The rain.
Because think about
live
it.
in a
If it
country where
rains
it
in the morning,
rains
if it rains
all the
in the morning,
time.
people drive to work, and so if people drive to work, they've got to drive back from work. So then about 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
But the rain's not even
Nightmare.
that bad.
Literally.
No, but this morning it was bad.
Was it bad this morning?
Yeah. It wasn't fantastic. It's the rain. It's the rain and the dark skies. I think they make everyone drive in instead of get the train or the bus.
But to be fair, that is my cop out for not getting the train. As soon as I see a teeny tiny drop, I'm like,
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
get in the
Everyone
car.
just gets a car.
Get the car. Well, you made it. Shall we have a quick roundup of what happened last night in the Carabao? Yeah? Did
Yeah.
anyone watch any of those riveting games?
I did not.
No.
I must admit,
Okay.
I didn't see it.
I kept up with them, as is my job.
As
but
is your job.
Didn't watch them, no.
Okay. Well, for anyone who didn't watch it and didn't know, Grimsby did your favourites, Grimsby. They did go
Hold that.
crashing out. They lost 5-0 at home to Brentford. Wrexham, they also went out. They lost in the Welsh derby 2-1 to Cardiff. And then actually the game that kind of was the most exciting of the bunch, Wickham, who went 1-0 up against Fulham. I did watch that for a little while. Then ended up going out on pens, but that was quite a good game. So who we've got left in before tonight is Brentford, Fulham, and Cardiff. Tonight's fixtures, we did touch them a little bit yesterday, but we will have another little
Another gander.
gander. We've got Swansea. They take on Manchester City. Arsenal, they've got Brighton. You didn't watch along later on AFTV?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I am,
Okay.
yeah.
Guys, don't forget to tune into that later on. What time?
Right, so the game starts at 7:45. I'm imagining that we will be on here from 7:30.
Nice. Okay, you know where
Big
to-
game, big game.
It is a big game. Expect to see lots of changes in that. Liverpool, they face Crystal Palace again. This time it is at Anfield. Will they get back to winning ways? Who knows? Wolves, they take on Chelsea. I've got a feeling about this game. I said it to you yesterday. Feel it in my limbs,
In your bones.
in my bones. That maybe Wolves can get something out of that game. Don't know why. Pure hopium, pure hate. And then 8 o'clock is my Tottenham. They are away at Newcastle. That is a tough place to go.
The trophy holders.
The trophy holders, yes. You do not want to do that at the best of times, let alone on a cold and damp, wet Wednesday night. But we'll have a look at all of them. Shall we start then? Shall we start with Arsenal?
Yeah, why not?
We did have a bit of a deeper dive into them yesterday, but we kind of expect to see some changes tonight. You've got so much squad depth that we kind of expect to see that utilised.
Yeah. Actually, before I do that, can I just, if you'll indulge me very briefly, I just want to, because I know we got listeners and watchers from all over the world, so
Yes,
I just want to say a quick little thing about Jamaica. Obviously, it's in the news right now. It's devastated the country, and my thoughts and prayers go out to all of those people in Jamaica, in the Caribbean, in the diaspora, all those people affected. There's not been that much loss of life, but in terms of the infrastructure of the company, it's the country even, it's been quite decimated, and it's going to take them a long time to recover. Yeah. So I thought I would wear my shirt, pay tribute, and
Yeah, for 100%. Anyone who has, finally, sorry, my laptop was not working. For anyone that has seen, obviously, the horrendous footage coming out of Jamaica. It's just awful. It really is. I'm
still trying to reach a few family and friends out there. I've spoken to some of them, but not all. So I'm hoping and praying that
everyone can be safe and well. Yeah. Yes, fingers crossed. And actually, Rob also shared something today about how we as in all of us will try and find a way to hopefully
that'd be great.
And contribute. Yes. Fingers crossed. Anyway, sorry,
back to the football. Right, so yes, Arsenal. Now, I did a video on my channel, LL Sports TV, for those who don't know, and I spoke about how important this game, not just this game is, hopefully we get through this game, but I think that for Arsenal, winning the EFL Cup this season is big. Now, I know a lot of Arsenal fans may have a contrary view to that, but I personally think that for a number of reasons, this cup competition this year is very important. It's the first piece of silverware we're going to contest with for this particular season, and winning it, I think, well, we've not won the trophy since 1993, 30 odd years ago.
Long old time. We haven't won a trophy for 5 years,
so we should not look down our noses at this competition. And I think that we have done, if we're being honest, in the past we have done so. That being said, we're playing Brighton today. Brighton are a good team on their day. They will be looking at it as a winnable tie. They did actually beat us in the EFL Cup a few years back, 3-1 at the Emirates. So we owe them one, and I hope we play a strong side and get the job done. Go through to the
Who do you expect to see start then today? We probably Mascara will come in, I assume, as well. You'll see Ben White.
Well, we are carrying a few injuries, so I'm not sure the exact extent of some of those injuries. Mikel Arteta, as you guys know, is always holds his cards very close to his chest when it comes to that type of stuff. So it's difficult to get up-to-date information. But I don't think Declan Rice will play. There's rumours that the likes of Gabriel, Saliba, maybe even Saka might not play either. However, we do have a strong squad this year. So whoever we put out, I think will be capable of getting the job done. But we've got to get the job done.
What do you reckon, Dylan? Because we did touch on it yesterday, but I feel like, as Laurie said, they're not in a position really where they can turn the nose up at any type of trophy. No. And it has been used by City, Liverpool, and a lot of other teams as kind of a springboard going into the rest of the season if you do win it. Should this actually be one of Arsenal's priorities?
Right now, yeah. Like in terms of get at least like for the next few months, I think it's got to be. It's an equal priority in the Premier League in terms of, you want to win every single game, keep your momentum going. But as we touched on yesterday, Abby, with Christian, I think it's a pretty underrated competition. It's really easy to laugh at. It's a tin pot trophy compared to the Champions League, the Premier League. And obviously Arsenal have almost, without winning it, surpassed it as a want, for example. So, for example, a team like United or like Newcastle last season, etc., it was a big, obviously Newcastle won, it was a big want for them. It was like, we need a trophy, we need to lift something. Whereas Arsenal's, to some extent, rightly so, your eyes are realistically on the Premier League, on the Champions League, because you've come so close in the last couple of years to winning those two trophies. But in terms of a trophy that does so well for a team to boost on in the second half of the season, in the last 5 or 6 years, especially, or maybe 10 years, especially since Pep has come in, so many managers have appreciated it so much. Pep Guardiola says, we want to get that trophy because, you get to end of February, beginning of March, it's almost like a stimmy, where it kind of stimulates your team into like pushing on for a season. Eric Ten Hag, in his first season, he won that huge deal for us. First trophy in about 6 years. We then went on to finish third, and it was the first season since Sir Alex Ferguson where we'd won a trophy and finished in the top four the same season. Same with Newcastle last year. Obviously, it's something quite the same with Newcastle because they then had this really bizarre summer where they didn't get a lot of their main transfer targets, although their summer actually ended up being not as bad as many people thought it would be. because Voltemada seemed to be such a good find.
Yeah.
But it's going to be really, really important for Mikel Arteta, and it certainly has to be. Like, you can't just relax tonight and go, it's the Carabao Cup, it's fine. Because as well, you're playing Crystal Palace, who themselves will be roaring to get back into proper form.
No,
Brighton, sorry.
Brighton,
It's Liverpool's playing Crystal Palace, isn't it? Being Brighton, who will also be roaring to get back in after losing to United 4-2. They want to get back to winning ways. And I'm sure Hertz sees this as we also want to win a trophy. He's been there a season now, like season and a half. They've got a very good squad. Danny Welbeck's probably sat there going, I've scored against United last week. I can now score against another one of my old clubs in the same couple of days. So it's going to be, a hard test for Arsenal, I think. Harder than maybe some will appreciate, because Brighton's still a very good squad. But I've got no doubt that Mikel Arteta is going to look at this and go, no, we need to win this as much as we need to win any Premier League game.
Yeah, I would think so as well. I think that there is so much emphasis on Arsenal winning a major honour in terms of a Champions League or a Premier League. But I feel like winning a Carabao Cup, even though people want to call it Mickey Mouse Cup or diminish it,
it's really not.
It's really not.
No.
I mean, you have 2 domestic trophies, aside from obviously Premier League in the season, an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup. Why is that diminished? I don't understand. A trophy's a trophy at the end of the day, and it's still a big trophy. Like,
just because
it might
it's
be...
not the Champions League doesn't mean that it's not a fantastic competition.
Well, I was at the semi-final when Newcastle put us out, the home league.
Yeah.
And I was devastated when we lost that game.
I remember you saying
I was
this,
very upset about it.
Yeah.
Not just the way the loss, the manner of the defeat as well. And look, we finished trophyless last season. This is something that we have to correct this season. So it's important in so many ways.
From
like
a mentality perspective, it's so important.
It is.
I feel like sometimes, yes, everyone is hungry for the biggest trophies, whether that be the Champions League or the Premier League in terms of an Arsenal situation. But the mentality part hasn't been there to get you over the line. Yes, there's been injuries. Yes, there's been other factors, but it hasn't actually been there in those big moments. Even we go back last season to the PSG game, mentality wasn't there, So something like the Carabao Cup, if you were to go on and actually win and achieve that just puts you in even greater stead, regardless of, you probably will end up winning the league anyway, but like, it would give you so much confidence of just getting over the line mentally.
Exactly. They say success breeds success.
Yeah, Arsenal need to prove to themselves that they can actually do it.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's the first silverware that we will contest this season. The final is in March 2026. If we can win that, it sets us up nicely for the rest of the season. And like you said, we'll throw off that nearly man tag, that tag of not winning anything. And as well as that, I think Arteta needs it.
Yeah,
he needs a
definitely
trophy
needs it.
because people are seeing him. Well, when I say people, there are a lot of Arsenal fans that see him as a good transition manager, but they're not wholly convinced that he can go on and win trophies.
Yeah.
So by bagging that one, that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, it kind of shakes
So
the
yeah,
flag.
let's hope he can do it.
Okay, a few super chats. Greg, we want to welcome you because you are a gold member. So big up to you. Welcome to the crew. Joe Talks Footy says, Abby, Tottenham turn into Arsenal. Are you complaining now? I see you're referring to our set pieces. Listen, I've seen my team can sometimes not even get over the first man. So I'll take any type of goal, set pieces. I think Mickey Van Van's our top goal scorer. Yeah, no, I'm not complaining. Not complaining right now.
But
Slightly different.
This kind
slightly
of
different
inverted
circumstances.
snobbery about football styles and long throws and stuff like that. Like, people just need to get over themselves.
Grow
At the end
up.
of the day, there are more than one ways to skin a cat, more than one ways to win a football match. If we're winning games by virtue of set pieces, so the hell what?
I think the argument with set pieces is sometimes people go, oh, it's not sustainable. But I think Arsenal have proven they're a slightly unique case of it being a lot more sustainable than people thought previously.
Yeah.
Because I remember we beat Leicester, this is years ago, 2016. We beat Leicester 4-0, scored 4 corners. It was like 3 corners and a free kick. And it's like sick. We beat Leicester 4-0, but I came away from the game going, we didn't create a single chance from open play. And I was like, oh, that's a bit dodgy. But Arsenal have been scoring corners for 2.5 seasons now. They've just been consistently getting a load and load of set pieces, and their stats are consistently through the roof.
Here's the thing that's so ironic. So
yeah,
for number one, like you quite rightly said, set pieces and stuff like that has been in existence for, it's nothing new, right? We all know it. Anyone that's watched football over a period of time will tell you that. It's nothing new. Number two, which is even more ironic, is that I can remember in the not too distant past, people used to clown Arsenal and say, look, you're a one-trick pony. You've only got one way of winning. Pass, and it all filters out. You've got nothing else to back up. Now Arsenal have found a way of scoring goals or winning games, alternative to what they would normally
Yeah.
do. People are saying, holding that against us as if to say, oh, it's just ridiculous. At the end of the day, yes.
I said this to Christine yesterday, and he gave me a bit of a funny face. I said, so we were reading out some of the stats with Arsenal about, like, you're like, what was it, like first for set pieces scored, first for percentage of your XG being from set pieces, and then like, was it like 17th or something from being like open play XG compared to other teams. I can't remember what the specific stats were. I'm sure the comments can correct me. But I said that they are skewed by the fact that your striker's not scoring goals. I was like, if your striker was at the moment more suited to the Premier League, I mean, just in terms of obviously getting to grips with the Premier League properly, being able to have the same kind of movement as the other like strikers who, because part of the reason, like, to create chance for a striker, your striker's got to make the right moves, doesn't he? Like, that's just true. And we think Osimhen Gyökeres at the moment isn't doing so. He's kind of maybe being wrestled a bit too much by the centre back. So I think that a lot of the stuff about Arsenal's percentage of set piece goals being so high is that actually it's more to do with your striker not scoring the open play goals that a different striker at the moment, let's say if you signed Isak instead, for example, and gave him all the same chances that Gyökeres has had, the percentage of goals being set pieces would be a bit lower because you would have scored more open play goals simply because your striker would have put the ball in the back of the net more.
I think that's a fair accusation.
To a point. But then, as we just said, though, literally every club is employing the same type of tactics. So, for example, Tottenham at the weekend, you scored 3 goals, 2 of them were corners.
That's because we can't create. That's because we can't actually create anything.
No, but I think what it is that clubs are having to search outside the box now because, let's be honest, defences over the last 3-4 years or so have got a lot more adept at keeping teams out. They drop deep, 2 banks of 4. They're well structured, they're well organised, especially in the Premier League. They're athletes. They can defend, you know what I mean? So you have to come up with alternative ways in which to score goals and win matches. If that means set pieces, long throws, bring it on. I've got absolutely no problem with it. I mean, it would be fine if I could sit here and say we're playing like 1970s Brazil and winning games 3-4-0, but that's not really realistic at this point. So you have to
I hear it. Fair enough.
beat who's in front of you and use the tactics at your disposal. And that's what we're doing. And we're doing it efficiently and we're doing it well. And a lot of people seem to have an issue with it. And I'm just laughing because I'm like, okay, moan all you want. But if we win the title at the end of the season, in May next year, there will not be an asterisk against the title saying Arsenal, the majority of their goals are from set pieces.
No,
you know what I mean? No one will care. So.
No, you know that the greater good, though, will be that. Everyone will say that, though. Like, that's just it. But none of you lot will care.
When we're on that parade,
welcome to Football Discourse.
100%. We've got another super chat from Ronnie Dodge, who said, game has a Welbeck goal in it. I'm backing Brighton. Yeah, I mean, Welbeck's been on sensation.
It's at the Emirates, right?
Yes. But the resurgence for Danny Welbeck has been unreal. I don't really think that...
I know he keeps scoring against us, but I'm loving it.
Do you know that he's actually older than Fabian Hertzler?
Yeah,
Which
I know.
is insane.
Whereas that Hertz has got Welbeck and Milner
Yeah,
in his starting 11s, and he's younger than them.
I know. Brighton is such a mixed bag. Like, some days they're so on it, and then other days they just get bad. So, I don't know. What do you reckon your prediction is for tonight then, Laurie?
You know what? I'm going to go for the same result that Brighton beat us at when they beat us back in 2022. And I remember that well because I caught COVID for the first time. So that was a particularly bad week for me. I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal.
Okay, I can't remember what I went with yesterday.
I said 2-0.
I can't remember.
I said 2-0, 2-1. I think I backed Welbeck to score, so I would have said 2-1.
I cannot remember. If you watched yesterday, then let me know. Right.
I think he scored when they beat us 3-1 in that competition. He actually scored in it.
I've got a bit of a theory about Danny Welbeck in that I think he's doing so well now at 36 because he missed so many games when he was younger. So he's actually only played the amount of games that someone who's like 27 or 28 would have. But I know he's had muscle injuries, so that kind of counteracts what I think. But I think kind of the fact that he's now managing himself so much better at a club like Brighton, where, with all due respect, a little less intense than Arsenal and Manchester United.
So what you're saying is the fact
that he's training, though.
Training's training, yes, but I think maybe the way he's playing at the moment, like Hertz is not asking him to kind of press the goalkeeper and the centre backs and do some crazy madness stuff. So I think he's actually benefiting from the fact that he didn't play as many games 7 or 8 years ago.
That makes sense. Maybe. That's off that train smarter, not harder type of philosophy.
There you go. Obviously, I mean, I think if you were to ask him, would you rather play the games when he was younger, he'd have said yes. Absolutely. But I think ultimately the fact that he's doing so well at 36 now and is literally in the conversation for backup striker World Cup conversations, like obviously amid Watkins not doing fantastically well. I mean, just big up to him.
Absolutely, he's definitely an outside shout. Let's have another look then at the rest of the games just briefly. Swansea, as I said, take on Manchester City. For all intents and purposes, we probably think that this is slam dunk for
4-0
City.
City.
4-0.
All I can say is if Haaland plays tonight, which apparently could be a bit.
Bit of a risk. No,
Yeah,
isn't
well,
Haaland a bit 50-50 at the minute with his fitness?
Yeah, look,
Maybe not 50-50, but like there's a couple of
50, but it's
small
one of those
concerns.
things. You risk it, but Pep Guardiola's always said that Carabao Cup is important,
It is,
and especially for City, who went trophyless last year for the first time in God knows how long.
Shout out to Pep.
It's
I remember when he
important.
used to say that. People, he's just saying it, but there is a lot of validity in what he said.
100%. Okay, so I think we all think City win all round.
Comfortable.
We've done Arsenal, Brighton, Liverpool, Palace. Now this is an interesting one. This is already the third time, is it?
Third
Third
time
time
they've
they're already meeting each other this season. Look, Liverpool cannot afford another loss. Let's be honest. And this is at Anfield. So this whole excuse of, we've been playing away from home a little bit, they've been talking about, well, there's no excuse now. You are at home. Is this the night where Arne Slot turns it around, Dylan?
That's a big ask because Crystal Palace, like I said before mistakenly, Crystal Palace are looking for some form. They're looking for some results. Ultimately, I do think that Liverpool will get over the line in this game, but I don't have a lot of confidence in it being the convincing display that's needed. With Ruben Amorim, it's the fact that 1-3 in the bounce, but the reason there's optimism now is the manner in which they happened. I feel like with Liverpool, I think they're odds on to win this game, but I feel like it's going to be a little bit of a scrappier one than Slot will have hoped for because it's not an easiest opponent in any sense or form because Crystal Palace have had their number this season. Was it? They drew. What was the score? It was 2-2 in the Community Shield, and then they conceded twice again to Palace. So they conceded 4 times to Palace already this season. Once in neutral ground and once at home. Being at Anfield, obviously that's much better for them, and the crowd will be very behind them and everything. But yeah, it's a.
When they talk about the Anfield atmosphere, it's nights like this when the confidence of Liverpool is the lowest it will have been for such a long time. This is where they really kind of need that 12th man energy, isn't it?
Absolutely. There is no truth to the rumour then that before the game, Arne Slot's going to visit Glasner and say you're not allowed to use long throws.
Who knows? Who knows what he'll do?
He seems to have a problem
Please.
when teams set up in a way that doesn't suit.
Oh man,
style
just
of
train your team to make sure you get better at defending it then.
100%.
That's literally the only thing you can do. Stop complaining.
But yeah, I mean, this is a big game for both teams actually, because Liverpool obviously their form at the moment is wretched. So they need a win regardless of what competition it comes in. So I'm not even thinking past like going on to win the trophy. They just need to get a win, and that's for Palace. They will be seeing this as a very winnable game. They've got a recent, very good record against Liverpool. And of course, I would imagine if you're Crystal Palace who won the FA Cup last year, domestic trophies will be something that I would imagine they will target. And they will see that Liverpool are vulnerable. So they'll be going to Anfield in good heart.
Yeah.
So this could be a tight game. Like Dylan, I'm kind of edging slightly towards Liverpool because I can't imagine they're going to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
imploding
putting
like-
Crystal Palace favourites for this game. It's at Anfield against Liverpool at the end of the day.
If this was at Palace, would you feel differently?
Different story, yeah. It's a different story. Liverpool, it's Liverpool credit to them. They have fantastic home fans, especially in the last couple of years. And they, as you say, it's a 12 man thing, but also it's an 11th man thing.
Yeah.
Because some one or two of their players every single game, not always the same ones, have just gone missing or just made mistakes that they wouldn't have made 12 months ago. So yeah, it's a 12 man thing, but it's also an 11th man thing. These guys need to play as a team.
Yeah.
But I can't stress, though, this is a massive game for Slot. I mean, I'm already seeing on some of the fan channels, Liverpool fan channels, they're calling for his head. Which is...
Well, look, it's obviously very reactionary, but I think when it comes to Liverpool, look, AGT is a prime example of this as well.
No, I wasn't talking about his fan
No,
channel.
but I just feel like they're so not used to losing, right? That it's like they've gone from such a high. I know towards the end of last season after they won the league, when they went on their party holiday, etc. Then they were poor. When after that they barely don't even know who they beat after that. I think they might have even.
They kind of clocked out, didn't they? But also fair enough.
The job had already been done.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like
it was fair enough.
They've brought that form from the back of last season into this season. Obviously, they were just getting over the line in games, and they were still having that arrogance about them because they were saying, "Well, this is Liverpool. This is what we do. We can." It was unsustainable to be doing last-minute winners. I remember thinking okay, this can only last for so long.
Yeah.
But I never thought that the I don't want to call it a downfall because I don't know how long this will last, but just the level of
Implosion.
I think just the level of the performances that we've seen. I can't sit and think of one good performance Liverpool have actually had, maybe since winning the league, actually. But it's more the individual errors. I think when you look at Virgil van Dijk, we literally say he's the best ever sometimes in the Premier League. The level of Konate, losing Trent, Robertson is better than the options they have. McAllister, Gravenberch, they're not as they were last season.
I think
It's
there
just
might
a
be
lot of
something
things.
also with the Jota.
I was just about to
sorry,
say.
sorry.
I know. I was going to say and agree with you that I think that when you go through something like that, and you see the way that the Jota situation affected everybody across football, I think when that is part of your team, I think that definitely does.
Oh yeah,
does have an
100%.
effect.
It's immeasurable the impact that will have had.
Yeah.
And it's going to
on
affect you
each
even more when
individual.
things are not going your way.
Yeah.
Having suffered, bereavements in my family, close family, I can attest to that. So there are some days when you can ride the wave, things are going your way, but it only takes something to go wrong, and then you start reflecting, and things come on top of you almost.
I don't see a team that are at mutiny or anything like that level under Slot.
No.
This is the thing. This is why it's a blip, and it's a bit of a ridiculous blip, what we've seen in terms of the recent 5-6 results. We saw this under do you remember Man City, not last season, or maybe the season before last? They drew 4 games in a row and then lost 4 in a row, and everyone was like, what's just happened to Man City? Then they clicked back into gear, and they now, again, obviously this is a while later, but look like a much better squad and a much better or uniform side. I think it's a similar thing here at Liverpool in that it's a bad few games, but all that you see Indy Kyler going on, which who everyone seems to believe now, going on about, meetings are in place.
Who's that?
Blah, blah, blah. I don't know if you remember, it's some guy on Twitter who claims to have information, and everyone just it's a whole thing.
I did see on.
I don't think Slot's in any sort of actual issue right now.
No.
He just won the league, which almost always automatically buys you another season unless something goes horrendously wrong. And the Liverpool players will still be behind him, or the new players will probably still be behind him, and it will get better for them at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it could start tonight.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Okay, what do you reckon your prediction is then for tonight?
Going for Liverpool in a hard-fought, well-contested game, I'm going to go 2-1. But I don't say that with a whole lot of confidence. It wouldn't surprise me if it went the other way. But given the fact that, like Dylan said, they're at home, Anfield can be a bit of a fortress, can be. I think tonight they might edge it.
I back Liverpool at home. I think this will be the night. I think it'll be difficult for them, but I definitely think this is the night they turn it around.
We also have to say as well that Palace are not exactly been on good form recently.
So the one thing is Palace will go there and they'll go there swinging. They will go there
they've not
swinging.
been playing well recently.
But that's why they'll go there swinging. It's Liverpool. It's the team that they've had the number of so far this season.
Yeah.
But
that's
yeah,
true.
there's a lot to go. Just in the chat as well, I know we've had a couple of mic problems. If you can let us know that mics are all okay now, that'd be fantastic. Thank you.
Brilliant.
But yeah.
Okay, right. Who else we got? Spurs, they are away. They are the 8 o'clock kickoff at Newcastle. Dare I even ask you what your prediction is for that? It's going to be some
You're not
bad
beating
mind
Newcastle
energy.
on their ground, mate. Sorry. This is their competition, isn't it? They won it last year. They will be fighting tooth and nail to retain the trophy. They're not going to want Spurs to rock up at St James's Park and beat them there. I can't see anything other than a Newcastle win. I do think you'll have your moments. It will be back and forth. Spurs are a good side. But ultimately, I do think Newcastle will emerge victorious.
Okay. I think this will be a draw, and I think it will go to pens.
Yep, same here. I can't remember what I said yesterday, man. I need to remember more what
Yeah,
I
but
said.
what happens
When
in
I
the
do these
pens?
predictions 2 days in a row.
What happens in the pen?
I leave it up to God. Whatever God wants, God will
Isn't
get.
Vicario
The
a
football
decent
gods.
penalty?
I don't know if I don't actually know if Vicario will play tonight. It might end up being Kinski. Not sure.
So what do you make of this rotating?
Well, I don't really want him to rotate because I want to win trophies.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I would like to go full strength. I think that it's an opportunity, though. In terms of goal, I don't necessarily mind the rotation. Vicario had a very good performance away at Everton, but in all honesty, he's very flappy and up and down. Kinski, I always think if I could merge the two, I'd have a good goalkeeper. I'd have a complete goalkeeper, like the height and the physicality of Kinski, with maybe the agility of someone like a Vicario. But yeah, I think that could potentially be a position he changes. Whether he starts Mickey van der Ven, I don't know.
I think you'll test them,
And
but I think
Danso-
Newcastle at home, I mean, it's their first year retaining a trophy. They waited so long to win a trophy.
I think this is a physical game, though.
Yeah.
Like I don't actually necessarily expect to see someone like Xavi Simons start. I expect to see more of a Sarr in there with a Polinia and a Bentancur, or he might go Polinia, Sarr, Bergval. I think he'll start with Charlison, Kudus. I think he'll go for bodies rather than lighter weight.
With Simons, am I
players.
right in thinking that some of the Spurs fans have been less than impressed with him so far? I know it's only early, but I'm sure I heard a few people on various call-ins digging him out and saying he needs to do more.
He does need to do more, but I
A lot more.
I think it's early days. He has not been in the league a long time. I think adapting to the physicality of the league does take time.
Sure.
If we had the luxury of having any of our attacking kind of tens fit in terms of a Maddison or a Kulusevski, I think it would have been more of an integration. But he's kind of just been thrown in there, which is fine. Like that happens to a lot of teams, a lot of players. I'm not making excuses for him, but some do just take a bit longer to adapt. I will remain to have judgment until the end of this season. Yeah, but I think he'll go with a more physical side. What do you reckon?
With the
Spurs game.
Spurs game, it's Spurs. Your away form confuses me because it's really, really good, but I don't know if that's just like I don't know if that's a long-term thing that you just are very good away from home, or it's just it's a really hard one to assess because it's St James's Park away, as you said at the beginning, towards the beginning, a potentially rainy, wet Wednesday evening in the Carabao Cup, where also the players who are going to be playing aren't necessarily the ones who have had all the minutes of the season so far. They will be like.
Does he go with Tell? Does he go Odegaard?
I can see two. I can see 2 goals for sure for each side, at least a 2-2.
I genuinely thought Brennan Johnson was so pathetically bad the other day against Everton, right? But I can never write him off because he will just pop up at the back post more often than not, and that's it. But he will get you a goal.
This is the kind of game where he does get a goal.
Yeah, I can see that.
Especially games he gets goals against the run of play quite often as well. Obviously, he did that in the Europa League final against United.
Weirdly
big time.
fancy him tonight for it.
Yeah. It's one of those. I think he's good at popping up against the run of play for Arsenal for Spurs when you need a goal. And then as you said, you won't see him for the rest of the game.
You will not see him.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a 2-2 and then penalties. Newcastle edging it, I think, if it goes to pens because it's at St James's Park.
Okay, and let's have a little chat then about Wolves and Chelsea. What do we think? Am I being just very bad mind energy with this?
Done deal, isn't it?
It depends on if Chelsea get a red card or not. If Chelsea do that thing, they seem to absolutely love doing it at the moment, where they just go and get a red card needlessly in the 70th minute or in the 6th minute of the game.
The way Wolves are playing right now, I reckon Chelsea could suffer 2 red cards and still probably win. Wolves are just awful.
You reckon it's that finished for them? There's just no way of them doing it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, no, I hear it.
I can't see them beating Chelsea. Is it at Wolves?
It's at Wolves. I'm going with the Wolves win. They literally are on the floor right now, Wolves. Like, you saw the reaction that they had the other day to Vitor Pierre. Oh my God, why can I never say his name? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I saw Jose Sarr.
They're not. It's not a happy camp. They are rock bottom of the Premier League table. Yeah. If they're going to get their confidence up, it might need to be in a game like this. And I'm not like Chelsea are a bit of a mixed bag. They are.
Yeah, they are.
They're a mixed bag. They're fresh off a loss to Sunderland.
But they're also on the bounce back trail, aren't they? After that disappointing loss they suffered at the weekend.
Yeah, but cold Wednesday night at Wolves. I
remember you saying yesterday it was Wolves. It was Chelsea score first, and then Wolves score twice in the second half. I think that's what you said. I'm back in Chelsea. I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm thinking there's as much as you can pray for something. I feel like it's more likely that you're going to get like Swansea beating City than you are Wolves beating Chelsea almost.
I think Wolves are looking that bad that they'll go out tonight, and I think that they might be in danger of, along the lines of Southampton and them lot. Struggling to get into double figures in terms of points. They really are bad at the moment.
2 points after 9 games.
Yeah,
I think.
Rock bottom.
Definitely Chelsea for me.
All right, well, that is your preview for tonight. Shall we talk about what's been going on in the world of referees and all that jazz? Okay.
I'm intrigued to get into this.
Well, there seems to be a rule change, apparently, allegedly coming. It's funny, isn't it? Because they can't actually sort out VAR at the best of times, so let's just make some new rules in there as well.
Let's introduce more stuff to it.
More stuff to make it more complicated. So, according to Time Sport, IFAB are set to propose in January that VAR can intervene with second yellow cards. The 8-second goalkeeper holding rule should apply to throw-ins and goal kicks. You're in trouble. Only captains being able to talk to the referee about decisions should become mandatory.
That last one sounds fair enough to
I'm
me.
fair on the last one.
Yeah.
What will you do when Arsenal can't time waste?
Time waste. Why would we need to time waste? We've not been behind.
Get him in.
Easy. You must be starving, Laurie.
What
a
game have we been
nibble.
behind in,
What a
apart from
nibble.
Liverpool?
What a nibble that was. Why'd you buy? Have some dinner before you watch along.
No, but I
Honestly.
do have some empathy with that 8-second rule. I do think that it just needs to be applied more universally.
Yeah,
and more consistently.
the 8-second rule I
don't
agree
have a
with.
problem with it,
It was after that stat from the Liverpool game came out where Brentford spent a total of 9 minutes and 18 seconds between the ball going out of play and taking a set piece. That in total in the game.
Well, I've been
10
to several
minutes of
games
football.
at the Emirates where teams have come and right from the outset, you see their keeper deliberating over restarts and stuff like that, and their players doing it, throw-ins and corners and all the rest of it. So I have no problem with the 8-second rule. I do think, though, that the rule has been in existence for the goalkeepers, right? And already this season, we're not seeing it universally applied.
They're applying it to throw-ins and goal kicks though as well, not just.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
they
it's
need
the
to-
moment. It's when the keeper grabs the ball.
That's the time.
Obviously, when you go down, you're allowed a little extra time to get up, which is why keepers go down onto the floor. But then once you've got the ball in your hand, you go, right, you've got 8 seconds to boot it out. Otherwise, you're going to get a yellow card. But the thing is so many times so far this season already, it's been 10, 12, 15 seconds and the ref's not done anything. So potentially making it much more of a blanket thing of as soon as I blow this whistle, you have 8 seconds to take that free kick. You have 8 seconds to take that corner, 8 seconds to take that throw in.
You know what? I
think it's
I
much
don't have
better.
a big issue with that. Like I said, it's going to be in how it's applied will be the test.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's if the referees can actually get into it. But it's the second yellow card one. This is the one where I've got a bit of an issue with.
Why do you have an issue with it?
Because so what if in this situation? So I'm thinking back to the only double yellow red card we've got this season as a United fan is Casemiro being sent off against Chelsea. That was one where probably this would work because his first yellow card was a yellow card. His second one wasn't, right? So that's where VAR could go. That wasn't a second yellow. Casemiro, you stay on the pitch. But it's when the first yellow card is harsh and the second one is obvious, then what they're doing is they're putting a bit more weight on the importance of the second yellow card when technically they're equally as important because it's just 1 and 2. But then also the biggest issue VAR have at the moment is subjectivity, right? It's about one referee thinking a decision is right, another one getting wrong. And yellow cards, I would argue, are even more subjective than red cards. So if there's already, and more than red cards and penalties, so if you're already having Howard Webb's coming out every basically 15 minutes and going, that should have been a pen, or that shouldn't have been a red card, or he should have been sent off here, or that was a this and that. Then you've got Howard Webb's also going to have to explain yellow cards so much. And we already, I'm sure at least once a game, all of us moan about a yellow card being given to an Arsenal player, a Spurs player, United player. Introducing even more subjectivity into this is just going to create more issues.
My argument would be just scrap the whole thing.
Or VAR.
I mean, do you know what? I was so for it years and years and years ago because obviously it had benefited Spurs quite a bit in the Champions League when we got to that final. So I actually was in favour of it. And I thought, okay, if this is implemented in the right way, this could be a really good thing for the game. But do I think that football was better before the introduction of VAR? 100%. I hate the fact that you can't celebrate a goal. You always have to have a look. I hate the fact
You
that...
could argue you get a chance to celebrate a goal twice.
Yeah,
No.
but I think it just takes away, it
That's
just takes away what makes football magic. It's like the things always balance themselves out, or they used to balance themselves out over the course of a season, in my opinion. Sometimes it goes for you, sometimes it doesn't go for you, but you will get it in a full circle moment. I feel like VAR isn't the problem, which is what we talk about all the time. It's probably the fact that it is so subjective. VAR was brought in to not be subjective. It was meant to be
Definitive.
It was meant
It's
to better
worse
the
now.
game. Things are, X and Y, they are black and white, and that is it. There is no grey area. And I still feel like there is so much grey when it comes to VAR. And I don't think that is utilising it to the best of the ability because referees are essentially still making those decisions, or someone in a booth is doing that at Stockley Park. My argument is, has the level of refereeing over the last 6 years or so got better or got worse since VAR's in there?
What I would say is this. First of all, I'm a little biased because I am in favour of VAR.
Why are you in
Warts
favour?
and all. Because I think if you look statistically at the decisions that VAR get involved in, most of the time, even though we may not like it at the time, they are correct. They are being correct.
Mm-hmm.
I think the problem with VAR is that you're getting to a situation now whereby VAR is really the referee just blows his whistle to start the game, and that's pretty much it. Because a lot of the important decisions will be decided for VAR.
So just to answer my question that I asked you, has the level of refereeing got better or worse since VAR?
I would
On the
say
individual referee.
it's probably the same. I just think that VAR has become the main focus now.
The point of VAR was to take less pressure off the referees, right? If a referee makes a decision, you've got someone in your ear. I get really passionate about VAR. You've got someone in your ear going, no, that's wrong, right? Go and look at the screen. What should have actually just happened is the level of refereeing in this country is no secret. It's very poor. It's very, very poor.
No, but in answer to your question about VAR, though, would you agree with me that the majority, not all, the majority of the time that VAR gets involved, they are normally right, which means that there is justification for using.
Sometimes they
I
are.
would say the majority of the decisions they make are correct.
If you're counting majority is like over 50%, then yeah, but the hit rate is still too low.
We sit and we talk
for it to
about
be
it all the
justifiable,
time.
I think.
Should we be talking about it? Oh, we've got a special guest. Come on.
Come in.
Come on.
We're talking about VAR.
You love this topic.
It's great.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
No, but I mean, I would say that the majority of the decisions that they do get involved with have been correct, even though fans may not like it, or sometimes fans will say, "Oh, come on, it's not clear and obvious." But normally they are right. One of the big problems I do have with VAR is that the referees are just totally.
So shouldn't the level of refereeing in this country really be the focus rather than adding another rule or changing this and changing that?
No, but it's there
Shouldn't we
to
be trying
assist the referee.
But the referee should be able to do that job without being assisted. To the point.
No, but in
I
other
think you can have.
sports,
What I would say is, okay,
technology has worked in his favour.
You can
like
have
cricket.
the technology. You can have the technology
Tennis.
as like another set of eyes for you in case you did miss something. Fine, because you are refereeing a game. Fine, but it has taken away the emphasis on the referee, and it's essentially some guy in a van miles away making that decision. The referee.
It gives them a free pass at any given moment.
Exactly. We talk about VAR most weeks, right? The whole point of VAR was to stop having these grey areas and stop talking about this and that.
No, but we shouldn't. We should also be honest and say we've always had great debates about refereeing decisions and this ref got it wrong.
Of course.
So that's always been there.
The level of refereeing should have been the priority. Let's train the referees better. Let's get better refs.
But they are humans.
They're
going to make mistakes.
I read something this morning, and I've got a bit of a curveball proposal here for you.
Go on.
So again, I know I'm bringing this back to Manchester United, but the Ahmad penalty decision, you guys saw it against Brighton where he was basically tripped up completely, and then the ball got like the tiniest little nick off the Brighton defender, so they were like, oh no, defender had possession or whatever it was. Mark Clattenburg, obviously ex-Premier League referee, came out today and he made a really interesting point. I've never thought about this before. He effectively said, I won't read out the whole quote, but he effectively said, so Anthony Taylor, the on-pitch referee, is one of the most, if not the most senior referee in the Premier League. And so he has, in terms of his status among referees, a much higher position than those who are in the VAR booth, etc.
Oh, I like
so Clattenburg said when he didn't give it as an on-field decision, the less senior official in the VAR booth then went, well, he's more experienced than me, so I'm just going to agree with him. This is effectively what Clattenburg said. And what this leads me to think about, and I've been been thought about this for ages, is that it's a one-man campaign at the moment. I'm introducing it here to DR Sports.
Guys, join us in the campaign.
But what I've always thought is you got referees, right? They are trained to be on that pitch, in that centre circle, on the field of play, right? And understanding like how football works on the pitch. And then you've put those same guys as the ones who are in the booth. The way I've always thought about it is keep those guys as the ones who've been trained to be on the pitch, and then train other referees, specifically VAR officials, to then run the booth side of it. So instead of it being 1 week, Anthony Taylor's on the pitch, like blowing for the referee whistle, like foul, free kick, no free kick. Then next week he's in Stockley Park in the trailer. I'm sure it's not a trailer anymore, but it's funnier to say that it's just like a caravan.
Yeah.
In Stockley Park, then making the decision, having 100 replays, which he didn't have access to the week before. It's, I think, train people to have the correct amount of context and have them as just VAR officials, because they have it with the assistants. VAR assistants, so the ones assisting the guy literally sat there with the joystick or whatever it is, they are trained for that, right? They aren't linesmen on another day. They aren't fourth officials on a different day. They are VAR, like they assist the VAR people. Whereas And then the guy's actually doing the VAR isn't. He's one who he trained to be an on-pitch referee, and they've shoved him in a box to go, oh, look at these 100 replays and think
So
about
I guess what
you
you're
would do.
saying is you do agree with VAR. It's introduction.
It's used wrong.
Yeah.
Like
I do
you
agree with
mentioned about other sports, right? You got Hawkeye in cricket and tennis, and that's fantastic because it's
Rugby.
so black and white, and rugby as well. It's so black and white. Rugby, to be fair, officials are respected more. The culture around officiating is much better in rugby. I think the culture around officiating as well in football, and we are at fault for this as well because we're the ones blasting the referees every week. That is a problem. But I really do think that if you trained people to use the technology right, the technology would be used so much better.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, that if you remember in days gone by, before VAR, we would have long debates about refereeing decisions. And in the final analysis, we would also say, at the end of the day, these guys are human. They need help. Why don't we have technology like they do in cricket, like in football, in rugby? Everyone said that pretty much unilaterally.
Yeah.
Everyone said that. People got to remember, VAR, video assisted referee, it's there to help the referees. The problem I see is that, one, it's the interpretations, and two, the referees are over-reliant on it to the point where sometimes when they do make what I deem to be the correct... You know, we have this clear and obvious thing. Sometimes it was a couple of weeks ago in Arsenal's game where the referee gave the goal and then went and looked at it, and it was... You could argue for and against. Now, to me, he should have stuck with his original decision. Obviously, I'm going to say that anyway because I'm an Arsenal fan. But, you know, there was nothing clear and obviously wrong about what he did. And he made the decision, then went over, took about 10 minutes to look at it, which in itself, if you're taking 10 minutes to look at something, that is not clear and obvious. So I guess what I'm saying is I am in favour of VAR. I think overall it gets more things right than it gets wrong. However, there are nuances and that needs to be addressed.
Is there a power struggle then, do you think? Like, as Clattenburg said, he thinks that Ahmad wasn't given that penalty because Anthony Taylor is the more senior official than the person who was in the VAR box. So if you got, there's new referees introduced every season, I think, or every couple seasons. If you got someone new, quote unquote, to the job in the VAR box, and then you've got Anthony Taylor who's got 10, 15 Premier League seasons under his belt, do you think there is a slight power struggle of the person in the VAR box goes,
could be.
I don't know if I want to correct him because he's the one who's got 15 years of experience.
There could be, but you can't blame the technology for that. That's human beings.
This is what I think is
This is
the
the
technology isn't the issue. It's the people using it. So if you're putting the on-pitch referees in the box in front of the screen, then there's going to be more problems because they're going to be thinking about their on-pitch perspective while replaying the thing 10 times and slowing it down.
Would you keep it?
I would keep it, but change who's actually using it.
And I would keep it.
I enjoyed football way more before VAR.
But you do also
I think, by the way, I think that's totally
VAR
fair.
gets the majority of the decisions right.
I don't think the individuals get them right. But I think
The hit rate isn't high enough.
Yeah.
I think I do agree with you. It probably
I don't think it's
does.
been particularly poor actually this season so far. But the season, again, we're only 9 games in.
No, there's already been
a phone call from my aunt in
Oh,
Jamaica.
who you were trying to get hold of?
I was trying to get hold of her, people, and she just rang me back.
There we
I will
go.
return
Love
that call after. That's
Love
good.
that.
Oh, that's
That
fantastic.
She's
indicates
alright.
she's safe.
Safe and she's
But
well.
yeah, just to very, very quickly.
No,
yeah.
we've got time. You can carry on.
When you
we
watch,
got
when you
ages.
watch
Let's go as
football
well.
matches,
Sorry,
I've seen
what
this
you
so
think?
many times, right? You watch. I saw it, for example. Actually, no, I'll forget about it. That will take too long. So there's many times you're watching a game.
You've got 10 minutes.
No, but what I'm saying is,
12
many
and a half,
times
actually.
you're watching a game and you see a goal. You think, yeah, great goal. And then the referee chalks it off. So there's that initial disappointment. Oh, come
Did
on,
you-
man.
Did
But then
you
when you
enjoy
watch
football?
it back, you think to yourself, actually, they are right. He was, even though it was
As a fan,
just a little bit.
As a fan, did you enjoy football more in your Barclays era when football was just football without all these other rule changes, or do you enjoy it more now?
That is a very good question. I think there are, I can say yes, I'm not trying to fudge the question, but
Yeah.
yes and no. There have been moments where VAR, for example, in the Fulham game, I forget who they were playing. Was it against Liverpool? Where the young lad, Josh King, scored a really good goal.
Chelsea.
Did a little pirouette. Yeah, against Chelsea. And then they ruled
that
out.
was just
And
stupid.
I thought that was terrible.
That was so stupid.
But then there's been lots of other examples where, I've got up cursing VAR out, and then I've looked at it and I thought, actually, you know what? If I'm being honest, they actually got that right. So you've got to be fair all round. So
The answer to your question for me is no. I've just changed what I get angry at.
Because
if it's a clear foul and clear penalty, and then you watch the BT Sport, TNT Sports, Sky Sports replays, and you can see that like there's like an elbow to the chest or there's a clear like stamp or something, and there's no VAR. When VAR wasn't there, I was there going, why can't the referee just go and watch that replay and understand that it is a penalty? Whereas now, it's I see the VAR make the wrong decision, and I'm just now angry at the official in the box rather than the official on the pitch.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's really changed if I enjoy football more or less, because of course that's contextual about how well my team are playing or not. It's just I think I've more pivoted about what I get angry about. So I was angry about the referees and not having any sort of assistance before. Now I'm angry that the assistance is there and they're getting it wrong.
But we do have to, in the final analysis, remember why this was brought in. I can remember it well. People were being outraged at decisions. They were saying, oh, look at the high stakes of the Premier League. Millions of pounds will be decided on just a simple referee's decision. They need assistance. We bring the assistants in. Now everyone's saying, yeah, get rid of the assistants.
Because it's not done necessarily correctly. Like Dylan said, it's not the
There's
technology.
room for improvement, but I would keep
the technology is not the problem. It's the people that implement it. There is still way too much subjectivity in VAR, and it shouldn't be. It was brought in for clear and obvious. It was there to remove any debate, and we end up having a debate more often than not every single week.
Yeah, but VAR is not there to improve fans'
I tell you
entertainment.
what.
It's there to get decisions right. And for me,
Yeah.
they get more right than they get wrong.
Okay.
The one thing that VAR has gotten rid of, which is a good, I'd say a good thing that we've not really spoken about, is like players being a little less cynical. You know, like before, like you'd have like players would see an open ankle and go bang, or they'd dive more often. Like you wouldn't get, like think how much like Diego Costa and Luis Suarez and even Wayne Rooney as well. How many more red cards? How many more problems they'd have had if they were able to be called up and held accountable in immediate retrospect, in the immediate aftermath of doing something. That is one thing that I think VAR has done well, is the sport's become a little less dirty, I'd say, because there's not as many stamps and there's not as many fakes and dives. David Luiz, I think, is another example of someone who would, be a little bit like that. And you can say that football should be more like that, maybe, like it's just all part of the game, etc. It's just, bending the rules to your favour. But that is one thing that VAR has gotten rid of, which I actually don't like. I think that's been a positive impact. There's so many other negative impacts that it's like kind of it's hard to like be positive about it.
Yeah, that is true. Guys, let us know what you think. Should it stay? Should it go? Do you think these new changes that they want to do are going to help it, or it's just a load of nonsense? Let us know. Obviously, it's a kind of a week off for you, Dylan. Like most things when they're in during the week, because you haven't got anything till the FA Cup during the week.
He's got away with
wow.
words.
No, I just sit here and revel in wins.
I think you'd
No
rather
losses in a month.
I think you'd rather be in the competition, but still.
We don't talk about the Carabao Cup.
Oh, we don't talk about the Carabao
Even though I've
Cup.
spent half an hour talking about the Carabao Cup.
I wanted to talk to you just about Manchester United.
Yeah, go on
really.
then.
I know
Hit me.
that it's not Premier League fixture at the minute, but you are away to Nottingham Forest this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Manchester United have turned a corner?
I think Ruben Amorim has turned a corner.
Saw him smiling today.
Oh, he looks fun. He's
got the drip back.
He looks like he's got colour in his face again.
Yeah.
Ruben Amorim does.
Yeah.
It's life pre-Sen Le Mans and life since Sen Le Mans. That's been the change. Sen Le Mans has come in and we've won 3 games on the bounce. Now with United are far from turning a corner still, right? Like the stats are still there. We've beaten like 21% of teams who aren't either relegation or top 6 or big 6 teams, right? There's a long way to go for me to go, I'm confident in my team again. Like we're going away to Forest and I'm still going, all right, 50-50 chance we're getting smacked here. We got then Spurs away from home, even though with your less than fantastic home record, I'm like, yeah, I'm not confident for that game because I still don't have an innate trust for my team. But Ruben Amorim, I think individually has turned a huge corner in the last month or so. I've been crying out, and I've said this so many times. You've heard me say this phrase so many times. You probably have as well. Little wins, small wins. Little changes to your starting 11. Little changes to what you're asking your team to do. Little changes to the instructions. Little changes, to starting and starting the bench.
What changes have you seen?
Changes have I seen?
Other than obviously the fact that you've won games. Like what have you seen?
There
in terms
is
of
the
on the
one
pitch?
big change we've had in the last 12 months. Our players are so much fitter than they were now.
Okay.
That's how we beat Liverpool, right? Beating them all to second balls. I've seen a marked improvement in the fitness of our players. Look at in terms of our players who used to get injured all the time. Mason Mount, for example. He missed one fixture against Man City due to a little hamstring thing. He's been the best I've seen him play since we signed him 2.5 years ago. That's the big change. Yeah, but the smaller change is letting the players play to their instincts a little bit more. So, for example, Brian and Bumo, half the reason he was so fantastic at Brentford was because of Johan Wissa, right? It was the fact that you can create a partnership that is so reliable, connection is really reliable. That allowed, and beginning of the season, and Mbeumo wasn't completely fit. Obviously, he had a slightly late return to pre-season. Obviously, now that helps that he's now completely fit and working. But he's now playing a lot close to Benjamin Šeško, for example. Wissa, fantastic with his head, despite the fact that I think he's 5'9", but his heading was amazing. You've now got 6'4", 6'5" Šeško that Mbeumo can play off. You've got Mateus Cunha now is now being allowed to drop a little bit further into midfield and collect the ball a bit more often, which he was so good at Wolves. And now Amorim's letting him play a little bit more to his instinct. Bruno Fernandes is allowed to step forward a little bit further. So when you've got the goal, such as Mbeumo's second goal against Brighton, where Bruno left the ball, it's that kind of thing that I think maybe a month ago, 6 weeks ago, Bruno would have been told, right, collect that ball, get it out wide, then get the ball across into Šeško. It feels as if the small little things Amorim is doing is he's trusting his players a little bit more. And that also comes down to just having better players.
Yeah.
Like the Garnacho show to Cunha is a crazy, that's been a ridiculous upgrade.
Yeah.
And Mbeumo coming in instead of having Xerxes in your team, for example. Well, all due respect to Xerxes, but Mbeumo just amazing. You've now got Ahmad playing as actually an attacking wing-back rather than Dallo and Dorgu or Mazraoui and Dallo as your wing-backs. It's like Amorim's got a little bit trust more in his players now. He's letting them play a little bit more to their instinct, and he's putting them in slightly better positions. And we've gone from win-loss to then win-win-win. And he's changing his tactics each little game and still getting results. He's changing starting 11 here and there a little bit, and he's still getting results. So you can consistently get these 3 wins, despite the fact that it's he's actually changing it a little more week to week. It helps that he has a whole week to do so.
Absolutely.
Big time helps got a big whole week to do so. But that's what I've seen from Amorim, where I'm going, he's changed a corner because he's allowing his team to play a little bit more the way that they were, I would say, maybe born to play. Certain players play in certain styles. That's just how it works.
Do you think they've turned a corner?
Well, yeah, they have.
Is it false hope or is it actual hope?
Very quickly, we lose 2 on the bounce and it's back to where it was before, which is why I say I don't think we've turned a corner as a club, as a team. But what Amorim's doing has he's put the indicator on, is basically how I look at it at the minute. He's put the indicator on and there is a corner to turn. But we actually need to turn that corner.
I think you may have reached your nadir when you lost to Grimsby. That was really poor.
Yeah.
And the manager, by all accounts, looked like he was going to be sacked.
That's what I'm saying. He was white as a sheet that game.
But sometimes in life, not just in sport, in any walk of life, sometimes you can hit rock bottom and things happen. You get fortuitous results. So listen, United have got some very good players there. They should not have been in a position that we're in the first place. So I would imagine that things will start to improve. I think Cunha coming back into the team is big for you guys because he does offer you a lot.
I'm so happy he's firing now.
So, yeah, I mean, as to where they're going to end up, that's interesting. You think you'll be targeting a European place this season?
Oh, yeah.
They've got 1 game a week.
Anything, a European player, are we counting Conference League in this, or are we thinking Europa League / Champions League?
I don't think you get Champions League.
Anything less, I think it's doable.
I think your aim, if you're honest, should be
top 6.
Top 6.
Yeah. Anything less than top 6, by the way, fire him. I really think so. No. I still think so. I'm still think that he's not quite the right guy long term for us. I've been saying this before. I remember saying before, if we get to 8 to 10 wins in the space of 10 games or something, then I'm like, okay, he's actually made the changes and he recognizes things and he's becoming more adaptable. I'm still very hesitant to say that, but I'm more than willing to say that if I feel it's true. I'm not going to sit there and go, I said this before, so I'm going to stay like this. But if it's anything less than top 6, 1 game a week, 2 competitions,
it is okay to change your opinion. Obviously, we do take the mickey out of
Flex. I would love to change my opinion.
Call him flip-flop all the time. But, it is okay to change your opinion based on new evidence.
When's Martinez back?
Oh, literally in 2 weeks.
Okay.
That could be
max. That could be big for us. Also, then, it's a World Cup year, so Luke Shaw's decided he's one of the best defenders at the club again.
Well, again, it's keeping them fit. But again, you are playing once a week.
It helps so much.
Yes, it does. Well, I'm sure you'll talk about the weekend stuff tomorrow on tomorrow's show. Is tomorrow Thursday?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
It's Thursday tomorrow. So
Thursday.
Genuinely, guys, I do not know where the week goes. I do not know. We are back tomorrow, of course, live at 5 every single day. I am back tomorrow as well. It is weekend preview time. It just flies. Absolutely flies. I would wish you luck tonight, but that would be a stretch too far. Hopefully go out. Hey,
I
it's
reckon
good.
we'll be right.
I hope you have a
Big
good
up Danny
watching on.
Welbeck.
Yeah, that guy Welbs.
I don't mind if Welbeck scores as long as we score 3.
Hopefully it's Danny Welbeck that scores. Please, right. Politely. Enjoy another night off of just hate watching.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fantastic.
And you'll be back tomorrow for Live at 5?
I will live at 5 p.m. tomorrow.
Gorgeous. And thank you, all of you, for joining us today. And yeah, join us again, same time tomorrow, Live at 5. And I'll see you on Weekend Preview. Bye.
Welcome along,
That is
weekend
unbelievable.
roundup. Oh my days.
Word.
We're in for a great show today, guys. Well, what about the North London derby?
I'm not getting rattled.
We're 3 points off top 4, so it's not looking too bad.
Yeah.
Foden 88, Saka 87. I think that's wrong.
Nice that you put your top on. You want to take it off and get the branding out? Happy birthday!
Make a wish to win the league.
I did.
But how much chance do Arsenal have of winning the Champions League?
0, mate.
If we got through
Can't do it,
PSV, do you think there's any chance?
No,
that we
no,
do?
no.
Hang on, let me finish.
Predictions
2-1 Tottenham.
3-1 Liverpool.
2-0 Wolves.
Chelsea to beat Man United at Old Trafford.
Still there.
You're in trouble if we win this game. You better not lose on Saturday. We beat the world champions this weekend. That makes you world champion.
We're the world champions, but you're not in a title.
This is why you'll never win the league.
6 billion down the drain.
Robbie celebrating a 1-0 win. Abby Pilates instead of trophies. You never walk alone.
Catch us every Monday for the weekend roundup.
It's so good. You can make it really healthy as well. Like if you get the right things.
Do you like